Hello boys and girls. I'm going to tell you a story by Valerie Wilson. It's a Moog tale, and this is called The Great Amazonian Chocolate Monster. It was a rainy day and baby Moog, his brother and sister, were all sitting by the lounge window, wishing for the rain to stop, when up the garden path they spied Great Uncle Murgatroyd in his Wellington boots, carrying a large umbrella in one hand and a hamper in the other. The three Moogs rushed to the door and opened it before Great Uncle Murgatroyd made it to the knocker. He stamped his trotters and shook off his umbrella while handing that large hamper to the children to carry. "It's raining liquid sunshine again," said Great Uncle Murgatroyd. Moogs, you see, always have a positive attitude to most things, for they know that the rain is important to make things grow, especially fruit and vegetables that all Moogs love. "And since it's raining outside," he continued, "I thought we could have a picnic inside." Now the idea of a picnic at any time fills a Moog's thoughts with pies and sandwiches, but the thought of a picnic when they weren't thinking about picnics at all filled all the Moogs with much greater anticipation, for an unscheduled surprise is always the best. "Are there cream cakes?" shouted baby Moog. "Yes," said Great Uncle Murgatroyd. "Sandwiches and pies?" shouted his brother and sister. "Of course," said Great Uncle Murgatroyd. "There's also chocolate biscuits, a sponge cake, sausage rolls, lemonade, and an apple tart and a strawberry flan for dessert." While Great Uncle Murgatroyd moved some furniture out of the way, the rest of the Moogs spread a picnic blanket on the floor, then went into the kitchen for plates and anything else that they could think out of the pantry. Mother and Father Moog were at the shops. Grandfather Moog was having a well-earned nap. Grandmother Moog was baking in the kitchen. She decided to join the picnic, as Moogs never turned down such an opportunity. She brought with her some warm jam tarts and freshly baked muffins. They all sat down on the living room floor and helped themselves to the wonderful surprise picnic. After several minutes of constant chewing noises, the first round of sandwiches were gone. Moogs, you see, never talk while they are eating, as it's quite wrong to talk with your mouth full. Plus the fact that as Moogs, if you're talking, you're not eating, and so you're missing out when others are not. Baby Moog sat with a cream paw in his hand. "Tell us a story, Great Uncle Murgatroyd." Great Uncle Murgatroyd cleared his mouth from peanut butter and strawberry jam sandwich just as he finished, and took a large gulp of lemonade while he thought. "Did I ever tell you of when I came face to face with the Great Amazonian Chocolate Monster?" All the Moogs shook their head and their mouths were full. "Well, it all started like this," said Great Uncle Murgatroyd as he lay back on the cushion. "I had been travelling up one of the Amazonian's tributaries, that's a small river that feeds into a bigger one, when I spied several chocolate trees. I stopped my canoe and went to investigate. Now chocolate, as you know, has to be refined. That is, after it's been picked and washed, it needs to be peeled and boiled so you can make some chocolate blocks. I set about harvesting the chocolate. I put my large cauldron on to boil and slowly filled it up with chocolate. Now, it's a very hot work in the jungle, so I took off my hat and my vest and hung them up by the fire to dry. It was starting to get dark, so I set up my camp, and as the chocolate was being melted, I cooked some sausages on a stick over the fire. Now, there are a lot of noises in the jungle, birds, monkeys, lizards, and many, many more creatures that you never see. Just as I was coming out of the tent, I saw it. The dreaded Amazonian chocolate monster. It rose up, spitting fire, dripping chocolate. It had a large, flat head and a body with very short arms. Then it hissed and spat some more. By this time, all the Moogs had stopped eating, apart from Grandmother Moog, who had heard the tale before. "What did you do, Great Uncle Murgatroyd?" asked Baby Moog worriedly. "Do these monsters live only in the Amazon?" said his sister, as she peered out into the rain from the window. "Do they only eat chocolate?" asked his brother, thinking of the large chocolate bar he had hidden for emergencies. "Who can say?" said Great Uncle Murgatroyd mysteriously. "You'll have to hear the rest of the story." So after everyone had had a quick medicinal sandwich to fortify their reserve, Great Uncle Murgatroyd continued. "I saw a quick movement in the tree that was above the cauldron, and a monkey shot across the branch. At once, the great Amazonian chocolate monster rose up to give chase. It shot into the air with a great whooshing, sucking noise, like when you pull your Wellington boots out of the mud. I thought it was going to catch the monkey at first, but it stopped and started to dance up and down, slowly coming to a stop as it continued to drip chocolate. I quickly ducked back into my tent for a walking stick and a torch, and was ready to do battle with the creature, when its head fell off into the cauldron. 'It's lost its head!' cried all the Moog children, huddling together. Baby Moog had to reach for another cream cake to steady his nerves. 'Then,' continued Great Uncle Murgatroyd, 'it lost its body. Splash it went into the cauldron. All that was left was a coat hanger and a couple of pegs, you see. The monster had been no more than my hat and vest that had been dipped in chocolate, as the monkey had forced the branch down. The spitting noise had been my sausages that had fallen into the fire.' "So there wasn't a monster after all?" Baby Moog asked, relieved. "No," said Great Uncle Murgatroyd. "You see, the dark plays tricks on all of us. When the lights go out, we all see things that aren't there. Our imaginations turn chairs into monsters. In this case, it was my hat and vest that had just got covered in chocolate. It took me most of the night to suck the chocolate off my clothes, and I lost several good sausages that were too badly burnt to eat. It taught me a valuable lesson. Never to be afraid of the dark again. And speaking of sausages," said Great Uncle Murgatroyd, "there's a sausage roll with my name on it." He picked up the last one on the plate and wrote with tomato sauce he squeezed out of the bottle, G-U-M. "Do you know what that stands for?" he asked Baby Moog. "Great Uncle Murgatroyd," he shouted, pleased with himself for working it out. They all laughed. First the G, then the U, and then the M disappeared into Great Uncle Murgatroyd's mouth. And so, for most of the day after the picnic, Baby Moog was in the fridge using squirty cream to write BM on all of them. I hope you've enjoyed the story, and I shall see you again very soon.